This week's episode is all about busting myths and telling you what is the right thing to do. Keep pushing it, guys. Alright, down. Well done, guys. Brilliant work. We'll see you tomorrow. Good work today. Raj, always leave that up. Alright, earlier this week, one of the teams sent me an article. It's all about high fat and low carbs is the way to go to lose weight. And eating carbs is bad for your health. Now, these articles really bug me because that is just not true. There's so many of these myths out there that just confuse people, and it really pisses me off because weight loss and being healthy is a lot easier than people make it out to be, especially the media. That's why this week's episode is all about busting myths and telling you what is the right thing to do. I hope you enjoy it and you find it useful. So that article I told you about earlier, the one that had the myths, what it was basically saying was that you should eat a high-fat diet to lose weight, that you should avoid low-fat products, that calories don't matter and all that matters is healthy food, and sugar is an enemy and carbs should be avoided. Bollocks!
Yeah, so nonsense. Well, most of that is nonsense. So if we go with the first myth that Vinay just mentioned about all diets should be high fat and you shouldn't include any low fat products. First of all, fats is very important to include in a healthy lifestyle, just like protein and carbs.
But fats are also the highest calorie food out of all the macronutrients. So 1 gram of carbohydrate is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is also equal to 4 calories, but 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories.
Yeah, so looking at it that way,
fats are actually the highest calorie food. Basically, eating loads and loads of fat is going to bump up your calories quite quickly.
Quite a lot.
Whereas if you had the same amount of carbs or the same amount of protein, the calories would be a lot lower. So basically, if your diet is really high in fats right now and you're struggling to lose weight, lowering it using low-fat foods would actually help you lose weight.
Exactly. It would lower than the calories. It kind of just makes sense. So although fats are great for you and you do need to include them in your nutrition, there does need to be some sort of a control, just like proteins, just like carbs. And that kind of leads us on to the next myth, which is that you shouldn't have to worry about calories. Yeah,
because calories is what dictates whether you gain weight, lose weight, or stay the same.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the basic law of thermodynamics. It's your body's physics. You cannot change that.
So with calories, there does need to be some sort of control of what you are consuming to what you are burning in order to see results.
Yeah, you might not be counting calories, but your body is. And if you want to lose weight, you have to be eating less calories than you're burning every day.
So that kind of ties into the next myth, which is saying that you can just eat healthy and there doesn't have to be any sort of guidance on calories, which really there does have to be
some form of portion control.
Yeah, definitely. So you can't just try and eat healthy and hope that that's going to work and you're going to lose weight. You need to still be eating obviously healthy, but
within your calorie limits.
Exactly.
Now, I will say eating healthier foods that are lower in calories will help because they're just generally going to be lower in calories and there's going to be more food available to you on a plate. So that is technically a good tip, but the fact that it tied into saying that calories don't matter,
count,
that's the bad part of it. So healthy eating, yes, but calories do matter as well. And the last one, sugar is evil and carbs are bad, is just total nonsense. It's absolute bullshit. Carbs are not bad for you at all in any way. Even sugar, if you control it, it's fine. It's not going to do harm to your body unless you're having it in excess amounts.
Definitely. It's the same as protein or fats. Sugar and carbs are no different. You can still overeat in any of them. There just needs to be some sort of control with your carbs and your sugars.
Matt, tell me one myth that you believe to be true before you started training with me.
Good carbs, bad carbs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do they exist? This is one of those myths that everyone thinks is true. Good carbs and bad carbs. Okay, so let me set you straight. Good carbs and bad carbs really don't exist. Okay, let's take bread for example, what most people class as a bad carb, and then let's take quinoa. If you had 50 grams of carbs from bread and you had 50 grams of carbs from quinoa, they're both 200 calories. They're exactly the same. So the effect they're gonna have on your body is exactly the same. What matters more is total calorie intake and total carb intake. So control the amount you're eating. It doesn't matter if you're having a good carb or a bad carb. If you're overeating, and you're still gonna gain weight. One myth you believe before you started with us?
But if you train with heavy weights, you turn into Arnie.
Well, that's a good one.
See, I'm full of good ones.
Well, that one is a myth. Look at me, I don't exactly look like a man, but women don't have to worry about lifting weights and looking like Arnie because we don't produce the hormone testosterone like men do, so it would be extremely hard for us to look like a man when training. And also, if you want to look like that, you'd also have to eat like that. So you'd have to be eating a hell of a lot of food. And most of you guys are eating to lose body fat. And also, if you go into a gym and look at most men in the weight section, they don't exactly look like Arnie. So for women, you don't have to worry about that.
So what's the biggest myth you used to believe when you first started training?
My one would have to be that I used to think that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, and that you couldn't start your day without it. So now obviously I know that that is a myth, one of those health and fitness myths out there. It doesn't matter if you eat breakfast or you don't. If skipping breakfast suits your lifestyle, then that's fine. And also if eating breakfast suits your lifestyle, that's fine. What's most important is what suits you and the total calories in the day. And also just do what helps you stick to your nutrition goals.
What myth did you believe before starting FLC?
Shouldn't eat after 8 p.m.
Alright, this is one of those annoying ones that just won't die out. Eating late at night at whatever time, after 6, after 8, whatever you want to call it, does not make you put on weight. Yeah, what makes you put on weight is overeating in general. So let's just say for you to lose weight, you need to eat 2,000 calories a day. Even if you ate all of those 2,000 calories before 6 p.m. or ate all of those 2,000 calories after 6 p.m, you're still gonna lose the same amount of weight. It won't make not one bit of a difference. Obviously it's best to spread them out through the day, but just do what your lifestyle allows. Don't stick to rigid timescales to try and lose weight. Another myth, I always thought protein bars and other protein drinks and things like that were bad for you just because they were processed. And I also thought they'd make you big and bulky. And that's not true. The truth is, whey protein is actually not bad for you. And it doesn't cause any harm to your body. Whey protein is actually found in baby formula. So, if you're giving it to your babies, why can't you have it? All it is a byproduct of making milk into cheese. So when in the process of making milk into cheese, you get something called whey. And they process that down and put it into protein shakes and stuff. And just add flavorings to make it taste nice. They don't make you big and bulky and look like a man. If you want to look more muscular, you have to train to look more muscular, and you have to eat enough food to look more muscular. So don't worry about that either. So I posted a question in the Body and Beyond Facebook group asking everyone for some myths that they used to believe, and I really got some good ones. So I'm going to run through all of them now. So first one, cut out all junk food from your diet. Now this one is total bullshit. You don't need to cut out all junk food from your diet. Obviously you don't want to eat too much junk food because it is high in calories, but you can still eat some of the things that you fancy when you're trying to lose weight. What I would say is make 80% of your whole diet come from nutritious, wholesome foods, and then with the 20% that's left over, eat the food that you fancy, just so long as that fits into your calorie intake for the day. Next one, sweeteners will give you cancer. Oh my god. Now, I know sweeteners and like diet drinks and stuff get a really bad rap, especially because in the media they're always talking about how they're giving you cancer and other health problems. Now, the main culprit that most people go at is aspartame. Aspartame has been shown in some studies to cause a few health problems if you have a lot of it, but the safe amount is 40 milligrams a day. Now, to put that into context for you, 40 milligrams a day is about 14 to 15 cans of Diet Coke. Yeah, so I'm not recommending you to have 14 to 15 cans of Diet Coke, but what I am saying is having a couple of cans every now and again, or sweetener in your tea or coffee, is not going to do you any harm at all. If anything, it will help you stick to your diet. My next one, if you eat a chocolate bar, it will take you X amount of minutes of exercise to burn it off. Oh my god, I hate those pictures that people put up about eating a 200 calorie chocolate bar. You have to do 3 hours on the treadmill to burn it off. You know, although it's good to be active, you don't necessarily need to earn food by doing exercise. Your body has a basal metabolic rate, so basically without doing any exercise or any movement at all, it burns a number of calories a day, and that amount is quite high. Like, even for myself, I'm quite light and short, and my basal metabolic rate is about 1200 calories. So if I had a 200 calorie chocolate bar, I still have 1000 calories left in the day to eat, and I won't put on any weight. And it's the same for you. Okay, you can eat a lot more calories if you do some exercise, but you don't need to do lots and lots of exercise to earn your food. So you need to work out every day in order to lose weight. No, I don't work out every day, and none of the Body and Beyond team work out every day, and we all seem to still lose weight when we try to. Going on diets like the Euro diet will help you lose weight faster. Now, I don't know what the Euro diet is, but I'm presuming it's some crash diet. Now, this one's not actually a myth. Crash dieting will help you lose weight faster, but that doesn't mean that all of that weight is fat, the stuff that you actually want to get rid of. A lot of it will be muscle. Because you've dropped your calories so low, your body will need to kind of get energy from somewhere, and it will eat itself. Aloe vera products are good at helping you lose weight. Okay, this one is a good one. I know a lot of people promote those aloe vera products to help kind of lose weight faster. A lot of the time when you take these shakes and products and stuff like that, you do lose weight, but it's nothing to do with the product itself, and it's everything to do with the number of calories you're having a day. When people go into these shakes, drinks and juice diets, you end up dropping your calories because you're replacing a 500 calorie meal with a product that's a lot lower in calories. So your total calorie intake drops in the day, meaning you lose weight. So if you just simply reduce your portion sizes, you'd have the same results. Okay, next one. Vegetarians will never be able to build as much muscle as non-vegetarians. Now this one is not true at all. Take a look at this picture here. That's my cousin. He has been training for a very long time. He's been a vegetarian for all of his life. Well, I think most of his life. And just check him out. Yeah. He's built all of that muscle on a vegetarian diet. You must live on a boring, restricted diet and have no treats ever. Oh my god. This one is annoying as hell because, number one, to lose weight, you don't ever have to eat a boring meal. Ever. Yeah, that's by choice. If you choose to eat rubbish food, then that's your decision. You don't have to have a restrictive diet. Okay, you do have to make some sacrifices, but restriction and weight loss is not something that has to happen. And having no treats, as in no foods that you enjoy, is bullshit as well. As long as you're sticking to your calorie goals, like I said earlier, you're good. Make sure you're meeting your protein goals, your carb goals and your fat goals, and you're even better. Yeah, so don't restrict yourself. Nobody needs to eat chicken and broccoli all day long to lose weight. That's just not how weight loss works, and that's not how dieting needs to happen. Okay, so I hope that's busted quite a few myths for you, and it makes nutrition, fitness and getting into shape a lot easier and less confusing. If there's any myths that I missed out and that you'd like to add, pop them in the comments below. And if there's anything you do believe to be true and you're not sure on, post them in the comments as well, and I'll tell you whether they're true or not. And that's this week's episode over. I'll see you next time. Okay, next one. You telling me drinking alcohol does not make you look skinny the next day? What?